Oh, hi. It's Rhoda. How you doing? Welcome back to my channel. Hey, it's time for another Veda topic, and you've probably figured out by now, if you've been following my channel, that I have missed a few days in the Veda challenge, and I've come to terms with it. I'll sometimes talk about a Veda topic when I upload a video, and I sometimes won't. It depends on if I am interested in that particular topic or not. We have a set of pre-suggested topics throughout each day on the calendar for August. They're just suggestions in case we don't know what to talk about. And I try to touch on them, but for today I am going to touch on one of them, but I'm pretty much just going to choose one that I want, that I like. And it's not necessarily in order because I'm so behind on all these videos anyway, and I'm not gonna make it to the finish line to 31 videos in 31 days. Whatever. I'm over it. Not worried about it. So, moving right along, let's get into it. I want to talk about the Veda topic for SSSVEDA, the topic for day 11, which is, what is your favorite summer activity? Well, for me personally, I love camping. Camping, I mean, not just in the summer. I like to camp in the fall because I live in Ohio, so in the fall it's beautiful with all the fall colors and everything, and it's a lot cooler. In the spring too. Sometimes the spring is not as good to camp in if it's kind of wet, but again, the cooler temperatures are nice. But I do like to camp, and let me tell you, when I go camping, I do some rustic camping. I tent camp. Oh yeah, that's right. And one of the things I like about it, I love to be outdoors. My favorite thing about camping is cooking outside. I love cooking over a fire. You know, a lot of times I'll prepare some things ahead of time to take on a camping trip that I can basically just heat up over the fire, or I'll bring other things that I might use when I cook over a Coleman stove. And I always have a setup. We have our sleeping tent that we sleep in with a great big huge queen size mattress. Of course, I gotta have some accommodations of comfort. And also a separate kind of, I don't know, some people might call it a dining tent. It's kind of like an arbor. It's kind of like this square kind of, it's like this, each panel is a screen. It's screened in that we put around the picnic table. It's got kind of a solid roof on it, and it's huge, and I can fit the picnic table on one end, plus on the other end two smaller tables, like a card table or one of those little fold-out tables. And that's kind of like my food area, my cooking area. And I'll put like the Coleman stove on the end of the picnic table. I have to have it set up a certain way because, you know, it has to work the way I want it to work. Anyway, but I love cooking outside. I like making things like, well, breakfast is the most fun. Anything like pancakes, or I once made homemade sausage gravy in a cast iron skillet. Yeah, that was really good. I also will do like those skillet potatoes, you know, eggs, bacon, sausage, you name it. We have it for breakfast. Another thing that I really love to cook and eat when I'm camping is we'll take corn on the cob, leave it in the husk, and soak it in the husk overnight in water. And then the next day, get our fire going and take the husk right out of the pot, keep it in the husk, put it straight on the fire, and water logged and all, and you just keep it on there until the husk starts to char and turn black, and then you know it's done. Because basically what happens is, because of the water and everything, it steams on the inside. So, and it turns out perfect every time. It's awesome. I also like to make, the usual burgers, brats, s'mores. A lot of times when we make kebabs, I'll take like chicken or something like that and some veggies on a skewer. Those are always really easy to put together and to cook over a fire. So, stuff like that. And I really enjoy it. Usually we'll go to a state park where they have all kinds of things to do besides just hanging out in the tent. Some campgrounds will have all kinds of activities, like if you have an ATV or if you have a boat and you want to go fishing, things like that. It depends on where you go. And I like to go canoeing. I like to go swimming. No hiking. I'm not a hiker. This lady does not go up hills, not with my knees. Other times we'll make friends with our neighbors and we'll play games, like badminton or cornhole or something like that, and that's always fun. So yeah, camping, that is my absolute favorite thing to do in the summer. I wish I could do it all summer long, but don't always get to do that all summer long, but it's okay. There are so many other things that I love about camping too. I mean, just being outside, being surrounded by nature, the beauty of it all, and listening to the sounds of the breeze through the trees and the crackle of the campfire and the aroma. I love at night, sitting in front of the fire with a cup of tea or cocoa or something and looking up at the stars. It's just beautiful. And snuggling up with someone that you love next to the fire and cozying up in the tent. Although, yeah, there are a few things that are not so great about camping. I mean, there's lots of bugs. It can be pretty hot and humid. Sometimes at night it can be freezing cold, especially if you're in a tent. And there's definitely not a whole lot of privacy. If you're feeling frisky with your partner in the tent, everyone's going to hear what you're doing in there. And of course, it's a lot of work. Camping is a lot of work. You can't just put a tent up and say, okay, we're camping. No, you got to haul a bunch of gear, a bunch of food. You got to be prepared. You got to bring pots and pans and soap and blankets and pillows and Lord knows what else. Plus all the tent as well. I mean, and everything has to be set up and torn down, so that'll work up a sweat. And nothing like having to set everything up when you arrive at the campground somewhere in the afternoon, and then by the time you're setting up it's dark and you're exhausted and you're starving and you haven't made dinner yet. But it's okay. I like to plan for that too. Sometimes what I do is, like, we'll go somewhere. If it's a weekend, we'll go on a Friday night, we'll set everything up knowing that we're not going to have time or have the energy to cook dinner. We just go ahead and plan to bring kind of like picnic dinner with us for a Friday night. Just something light that you can just kind of eat and go to bed, because you're pretty exhausted by the time you're done setting all that stuff up. But then you get a nice good sleep, and in the morning you wake up when the sun comes up and you heat up some water and make some coffee or tea, and you plan out your day. And I'm usually in charge of the cooking. The man with the muscle is usually in charge of heavy lifting. It's wonderful. I really enjoy camping a lot. And when I was a kid, we did a lot of camping, and it was one of the best times of my entire childhood. And when my daughter was growing up, she got to experience camping as well. We took her camping, and she really enjoys it. And to this day, it's just a really cherished time of my life, and I recommend it. I know a lot of people are not the outdoorsy type. They may not like being outside, and I have one friend, she says her idea of camping is staying in a hotel. I get it. I get that. But it's really worth it. It's character building. And, you know, when you live in the suburbs or in the city, it's good to get out in the country sometimes. Do something a little different. So, what are some of the summer activities that you like to do? I know that sometimes when we go down to Florida, we have a place in Daytona where we can stay. A lot of times we'll go jet skiing or do something like that down there, or go kayaking. Of course, we always swim in the ocean. We usually go out and have dinner someplace where we can get seafood, fresh crab, or, you know, shrimp or something like that. And so that's always fun too. It's interesting because places I like to go on vacation, a lot of times I will pick them based upon what kind of local cuisine that they have. Like New Orleans. Oh, I love New Orleans. I love the food there. But that's a whole nother video. I believe there's another Veda topic having to do with your favorite places that you've traveled, or your favorite place that you've traveled. So we'll tackle that in another video. So I gotta wrap this up. Thank you so much for watching, and please keep on following me, keep watching. I've got more stuff to talk about. And if you haven't subscribed already, definitely subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. You know, hit that button down below. Please leave your comments. I would love to know what kind of things you like to do in the summer as well, and where are some really great places that you go for summer activities. Also, if you have any suggestions for things you would like to hear me talk about, I would love to hear those as well. Okay, well, thanks again for watching, and have a great day. Bye.